we just had to fire our number one appointment setter on the team, who not only sets the most appointments, but on average sets about 3 to 4 times more appointments on the calendar compared to everybody else on the team. But find out what happened after we fired this individual in today's video. What's up, everyone? So I have a crazy story to dive into. And recently we had somebody who was absolutely killing it on the team, booking a lot of appointments, going through and putting in the dials, putting in the reps. And actually, when we flash back our biggest month on the team, I think we had over like 11,000 dials was the month prior of building up pressure to the biggest month, which was around $120,000 in revenue, doing complete cold calling, which is absolutely insane. Those were the numbers. And as time progressed, we hired more people, we trained them up, and of course the people who have been on the team a while have more skill level compared to other people who are new on the team who have to put in the reps to be able to gain the skill. But there was a weird shift that happened recently, and we went and we looked at the data and the numbers, and we were getting all these booked appointments, and then all of a sudden quality just dropped, and we couldn't understand why. So the person who was actually the top setter on the team, come to find out after going and reviewing calls, was not following the process or the script whatsoever. Like, just completely stopped, was just having conversations, still booking people through. So now we had people on sales reps on the team who were having conversations with people who just weren't qualified. It was hit or miss. They still would close deals, so this individual would still make money. But a similar case of this individual happened to somebody that was let go about a year ago, which I covered in a previous video, the $3.6 million mistake. I'll throw a link over that to here now, so you can understand the situation with that, with the numbers and the cost of the expenses and all that fun stuff. But definitely check out that video so you're kind of caught up to speed on what happened then. But kind of a similar case to that, okay? And so not only were they booking 3 to 4 times more appointments, but they weren't following the script. And the reason why this is a problem is because when you go and you hire new people onto the team, we can't leverage that person in terms of playing the calls because it's not duplicatable. They weren't following the script or the process. And to be honest with you, it looks bad. It looks super, super bad when a new person comes onto the team. We say, hey, here's the script, here's the process, check out what they're doing, right? So all these new people were coming on the team, and they see the top setter on the team booking appointments with ease, right? Completely with ease, just fishing people through, and it was letting the morale of the new people go down because they're putting through the effort and the dials and stuff and going through and qualifying and disqualifying people, right? Doing what they're supposed to do and DQing people who don't move forward. And the top setter on the team was not DQing, was just literally just forcing everybody through. So they were stacked with a lot of people, and the qualifying ratio just went really, really, really down. And after multiple conversations with this person, trying to get to turn around, trying to get them to put in the reps, come to find out their dial count just tanked as well. Like, they were putting little amount of dials. And we went from 100 plus dials down to like 15 to 20, if that, right? If we're lucky. And so after multiple conversations, this person, unfortunately, put themselves on a high horse on the team. They're like, okay, in their mind, it's like, they need me. I'm booking the most appointments, and I'm not putting in as many dials as everybody else, and only responding to people who showed interest via text message instead of calling the entire list, thus leaving revenue on the table and costing the company more money, because the more that you don't call and you only rely on text message, we still pay for the expenses. So there's tons of revenue on the table, and just could not motivate this person to actually go and put forth the old effort. And it got to be a problem that was not only affecting culture on the team, but was demotivating new people on the team. Now, you may be listening to this, and maybe you've been in a situation like this before, where you had a sales rep or a setter or a closer in your team who is absolutely killing it and crushing it, and well, wait a second, if we let this person go, right, it's kind of like handcuffs, right? What do you do when they're tied to the business? If you let them go, you know that it could have an impact on your revenue, right? And it puts themselves on a high horse because they're like, oh, well, this business absolutely needs me. So finally, the owner of the business kept coming to me and was like, we tried everything, we don't know what else to do. And then finally, I'm like, I've been saying we should cut this person for a long time. Now's the best time to do that. And the owner of the business was like, well, if we do that, then all of our appointments are going to go down. I said, yes, you know what? You're 100% right. The appointments will go down. However, we already know that the appointments being booked at a high level are a lot of people being DQ'd and shouldn't be on the calendar in the first place. So it's going to fix the quality issue. So even though appointments will go down, qualifying will go up, right? Theoretically, by looking at the numbers and then the data, this should absolutely happen. So this person just was affecting culture, unfortunately just lost the will to actually go and do dials, and just wanted to coast through to make a little bit of revenue, but wasn't following KPI or doing anything or following the process, so it wouldn't be duplicatable. So unfortunately, we had to make the executive decision, to let this person go. And after we let them go, here's what's crazy. I was having a conversation with some of the closers on our team, and he had 3 really, really good calls coming in the beginning of the month that are primed, ready to go to move forward. He's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on recently, but these leads are amazing. Like, we're getting so many more qualified people that are coming through. And I laughed because I said, dude, the leads from the list that we've had has been exactly the same. And I went back to the owner and I talked to everyone else on the team, and sure enough, guess what? Quality went up. The leads did not change. What happened was, once we cut the bad culture, the top setter on the team, then everyone else was following the process and actually qualifying. So now the closers on the team are only getting on the phone with people who are more likely to be qualified because new people are actually following the process. So by letting go and trimming the negative energy from the team, it's actually helped with getting deals moved over faster and getting everything back on pace to what it needs to be. And what's crazy is everyone else actually stepped up because they weren't demoralized, right? Because remember, it made them feel bad seeing this person not putting in as much work because their skill was here, but their skill technically really wasn't here. They could book appointments, but what good is it if you're having conversations with people who aren't qualified and can't afford your services, right? That's a waste of time and energy, and it costs the company money. So by making the hard choice as a business owner and letting this person go, quality went up, everyone else has been motivated, and new people on the team who would not ever be able to book the amount of appointments that they used to, their confidence went up and they're actually booking 3 times more than they were before. And all of this happened from making one hard decision of letting somebody go who, when you think about it, when they're booking that many appointments, that's hard for a lot of people in that position to do, right? You have a killer on the team, and sometimes they're winning. And maybe you've been in this position before, or you could be going through this position right now where, someone's doing really, really good work, but then all of a sudden the culture just kind of takes a dive and they just stop following the process. And you tried to do your best to get them remotivated and meet their needs. The owner of the business tried everything, tried incentivizing with different type of pay structures and commissions, offered to meet the demands of the individual to get them to turn it around, to make them happy, and then nothing would change. So unfortunately, we had to let them go. But it's just interesting that the irony is literally within the first week, quality goes up. They book more appointments, and by trimming the bad fat from the team, the business is flourishing now and benefiting from it. And sometimes it takes making the hard decision as a business owner, or if you're watching this and maybe you're a sales manager on a team, sometimes it's hard to let the top people on your team go when it's a matter of protecting the culture on your team. You can never put somebody on a pedestal, right? Just because that they're putting up numbers. If they're ever a threat to culture, that can be a poison and toxicity to the entire team and will do more damage than it will good. So if anyone on your team ever affects culture, or is not following the process, or thinks they can get away with not following the process that you have had in place, and breaking the rules, putting themselves with a high ego, right? People who are ego driven and put themselves on a pedestal can be very dangerous for the team, right? So it was a tough decision to make, and I'm proud of the business owner for actually executing and trusting in that judgment and doing it. And then now, of course, the results go and speak for themselves. So when I was thinking about today's topic, I was like, gosh, what's happened recently that we can go and talk about to give value to everyone? And this was fresh on my mind because I literally was just talking to the closers on the team, and when they're talking about quality, I was like, you know why the quality went up, right? And they're like, why? I'm like, because we let this person go. And they're like, do you think so? I'm like, yes, of course. Like, look at the numbers, look at the data. right? Now that you're not getting flooded with tons of people on your calendar and that wasted space from people who are going to be DQs, and everybody else is actually following the process and the script, and they're being super coachable, right? Taking somebody who's brand new and able to mold them into the process and focusing on duplication and having people who are super coachable, then the process, lo and behold, absolutely works. So if you find yourself in that type of position where you have somebody who puts themselves on a pedestal and they basically had the demeanor of, hey, you need me, I can do whatever I want, then take the path of making the hard decision and just let them go, right? Let them go. Keep focusing on duplication and following the process, and hire other people who will actually be a good fit for the culture, be a good fit for duplication, and follow the scripting and process that you have put in place. And I promise you, your company will thank you for it in the long term. I hope this was valuable to you guys. If you have any questions or you're in a similar situation or ever had anything like this happen to you before, let us know in the comments below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel if you like videos like this. I have a lot more content coming out here soon, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.